I did the book on tape, so I did the audio recording of the book. And halfway through, I kind of had an emotional experience, and I walked outside and called my manager, and called Kelly and kind of begged her for the rights to make the movie. Okay. So I guess it was my idea. It was luck. I mean, if you look at me as a kid, I was, 6'4" and all-American kid with, dimples and, was relatively funny. So I think that's why I got my first big break. It's easier when you look like that. I always called myself American cheese. So I think that's why, you get lucky. I mean, I know a lot of actors way more talented than I am that didn't get the chances I got. New York actors are really hungry. They train a lot. They take the craft of acting a little more seriously. I mean, I think that what happens is that everyone who wants to be famous comes to California, and those don't always represent the best actors in the world. But to be a quote-unquote real actor, and you're in New York, you're probably a real actor. So if you want to be famous, you come to California. If you want to be an actor, you stay in New York. Now there are real actors in California as well, but there's a whole layer of people that just want to be rich and famous on top of that real acting layer. Not really. I mean, I'd actually, truth be told, I think I have more fun when I do stage work. It's way more satisfying. It's a little like being a rock star versus like a studio musician as an actor, doing television and films. It's more exciting every night. The life of it, doing theater is way more appealing. There's a community, there's camaraderie, there's the audience, there's immediate kind of satisfaction that makes that life really appealing. I was a place in high school where I was like an outcast. I just didn't really fit in anywhere. I was a kid that wasn't good at school. I wasn't good at sports. And I found drama. It was the one time in my life, very early on in my life, where all the adults were saying, "Wow, you're really good at that." And I think that kind of encouragement and support of a kid that's on the outside looking in makes a huge difference in their lives. Great. I tried to get the movie made for 10 years. And so when it finally came around, I just felt really blessed and honored to have that opportunity. I'm really proud of the film. I love the film, so it was really satisfying. And for me, it was a really natural transition from actor to director. I don't know. I mean, it was the story. I've always been inclined to direct. I directed in high school, and I started a theater company when I was 19. I started another one when I was 21. And it's just always kind of been in my DNA. Mm-hmm. And when I found the book, I knew that that's the first movie I wanted to make. And I really chased it hard for 10 years to get it made. Well, one is very myopic, and one is much more about being the quarterback. Acting is selfish in a lot of ways because you're only worried about, your line and the relationships you have in terms of how it affects you, and you sit on you hit a mark and you say a line, and you're kind of a piece of the puzzle, a leaf on the tree. And I think that when you're directing, you're responsible for a lot more of the storytelling. You're touching every element of the film, and it's way more exciting. It's about inspiring people to get on the same page and make a great movie. We'll see. I mean, I just think the universe kind of gives you what you get. I like to direct. Again, if I had to choose between the two, I think I would direct the rest of my life rather than act. I've been acting since I was 13, so I'm kind of ready for that challenge. I really love it. I get hired to do them. I'm like a little bit of a gun for hire, and when I was a teenager, I was doing teenage movies. Like young adult, I was doing I was 23, 24, playing 18 years old, 19 years old, and look, those are the jobs I got. This story, I was drawn to Fat Kid Rules the World because I was that kid, and I believed in telling that story and finding people and having it affect people. It's just great storytelling, to be honest. I mean, it's positive, and I don't know. I identify with that hero. You know, the kid rises into the hero. I identify with that journey. I see that in me. You know, so that's why I like to tell. I mean, that's why I've told this story. 10 years. It took us 10 years to find the money, and then actually we shot the movie itself in 23 days. Yeah, we won the audience award at South by Southwest, and in the moment when we were kind of hoping that Hollywood would come along and buy the movie, that didn't happen. And so instead of selling out, we bought in, and we went out and raised money to distribute the film so that kids could find the movie all over the US. Well, we premiered at South by Southwest in March, and then we've done a bunch of smaller festivals, and then last night we opened in New York City. Well, the cast, you know, Jacob Wysocki came in to audition for, I mean, everyone was kind of auditions, except for Billy Campbell. And, you know, when he walked in the room, he was sort of magical, and we got lucky. Life-changing. It was like the single greatest creative experience in my entire life. Well, I think he can do both. He can do comedy and drama. I think that he has a natural charisma about him. He has a strength in his own personality and his character, and he knows who he is, so he doesn't have to be, he's not insecure. And he wants to be great, and so I think that kind of commitment and that kind of courage really lends itself to his performance. Look, the book and the movie is about an underdog finding his way in the world, and you know, it's called Fat Kid Rules the World, but it's not about a size or obesity. It's really just about finding a place in the world and, you know, starting to own that space. Avengers 2. Directing Avengers 2 would be awesome. We're going to roll it out across the United States in small, you know, theater chains across the US, and then any kid anywhere can set up a screening of our movie if they go to tugthefatkid.com. So if you go to tuggthefatkid.com, you can request a screening of our film in your local cinema. So it works a little like Groupon. Once you sell 40 to 60 tickets, pre-sales, that movie will screen whatever time you want and when you want it to.